Hello, everyone. It's Phil Jones from Projector Reviews, and joining me is Scott Wellington and Rudy Vitti from Panasonic Connect. And today we're going to be talking about all things that are created by Panasonic to help you become more productive and deliver immersive, engaging experiences. So gentlemen, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you, Phil.
Before we get started, we'd like to thank our sponsors, AV Pro and Meridio, for helping me put on this year's Spring Projection Summit, where we talk about all things related to projectors, projection, screens, connectivity, cables, even video distribution, all the things you need for a great projection experience. And I always love having Panasonic here because every time we review one of their products, we have always been incredibly impressed with the performance of their products. And so be sure to check out some of our reviews of some of the Panasonic projectors that we have done over the last year or so. But today we're going to be talking about a couple of new products. But the first thing that I noticed as I was putting this together is your logo looks a little bit different. Could one of you talk about what is Panasonic Connect?
Sure, I'll take a stab at it. Panasonic Connect is a new company we started from April 1st, and really what the message is basically with the new company name, which is really Panasonic Connect of North America. But Panasonic Connect is really encompassing multiple different product categories and solutions. We're taking a lot of different technologies from different types of product categories and rolling it up and basically saying to the market, we have solutions that encompass much more than just selling boxes and hardware. We have all kinds of different solutions, be it software and so on and so forth. So what the purpose is basically saying Panasonic Connect. We connect everything together to give you, the end user, solutions to solve your different problems.
Okay. The wise man once said there's no such thing as a one-item solution. You know, you don't need a TV, you need to watch movies. Okay. So you don't need a projector, you need to present an idea. So there's no such thing as a one-item solution. And the question is, do you have all of the items required to achieve that goal? And that's one thing that Panasonic can deliver is all of the things you need to deliver the goal, besides just the item, which is maybe a projector. Now, like we said, the whole goal of this is to provide these really engaging, immersive experiences. And Panasonic has been kind of a leader when it comes to helping people come up with these beautiful experiences when you go to these different museums and art installations, because that requires a tremendous amount of expertise in order to do this. This isn't just one projector that is actually doing this. This is multiple projectors to do these types of massive engaging experiences. In fact, I just went to a couple over the last few months. So this one is the Van Gogh, correct, Scott? So what's going on here?
Yeah, there's a lot of projectors and lens solutions that are really driving the whole exhibit. So surrounding you, it uses technology to show you, in some cases, above and below and all kinds of different things. So it's very, very creative. And it really, you know, in light of the pandemic that we've all been through, it's really giving people, end users, customers, the audience, an opportunity to get out and start seeing different types of technology, but seeing the different types of artwork and the way that it's being projected is really just very, very compelling. It gives a great story.
Yeah, because my kids are not technical. They don't really care. I'm up there looking at how many projectors are in the ceiling and counting them and stuff like that. They just want to be enveloped in what they're looking at. And this is such an immersive experience. But in order to make the tech disappear requires actually more tech, because how do you blend all this together? How do you distribute the video to all of this? You know, where do you store that material? How do you map everything to all these different shapes and sizes? That goes far beyond the projector, and that's the reason why a lot of times these companies come to companies like you, right? To Panasonic, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You really hit the nail on the head. A projector is really a device that is just throwing an image, but it's really the back end, the creative, getting the content and color matching, edge blending, and all the different types of things that are necessary to really throw an elaborate presentation of artwork in this particular case. It really is quite amazing. And in this exhibit, you're looking at least 100 different projectors using different lensing options and things like that. It's really quite an amazing feat, to be honest.
Yeah, and it was amazing how seamless it was. It's a really, really cool experience. And things like laser and 4K matter as well, because now you're getting much closer to these projectors at much larger sizes. So having more resolution and stuff like that, and enough brightness to overcome ambient room light to still make those colors look vibrant is really important. I actually went to another one too. This is in Las Vegas. This is Area 15, which is kind of almost like a giant art installation that has all these different experiences in it, mazes and rides and all sorts of different things. And actually, I discovered that you guys have worked closely with these gentlemen, with this company, to actually provide them with solutions to make this the visual experience that it actually is.
Yeah, one of the things that Panasonic is really, really very good at is not just building high quality product, but it's also our technical support and engineering. We partner with the customers to really plan and execute the actual placement of projectors, lensing options, which lenses to use, and so on and so forth. We provide a lot of support when it comes to different blending technologies and things like that. So there's a lot beyond selling a box, i.e. Panasonic Connect.
The demands for these types of experiences are requiring more brightness, more resolution as well. So how do you put more brightness and more resolution in a box that some poor guy or lady can hang or put above you? Because these really bright high resolution projectors used to be the size of small refrigerators.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if we go back 5, 10, 15 years and you look at where projectors were and where they are today, you can clearly see, the brightness ratings have gone up substantially and the size of the projectors are going down substantially. And that goes across the board, whether it's portables or mid-size or large venue. You're seeing the size of projectors, overall size, weight, and to be frank, even power consumption is being reduced significantly.
A lot of times when you do these types of events, whether it's a wedding or a concert in an old church or an immersive art exhibit, some of those buildings do not have 220,
Yeah.
lines and everything and industrial level power. You're going to be plugging into 110. A rental house or you're someone that does events a lot and you don't know where your event's going to be the next time. Being able to grab a product that's going to be more flexible is always a good thing. Today, Scott, we're going to talk about a couple of examples of great new projectors and notable projectors that Panasonic is introducing. And one of them that I want to talk about is this guy here, the PT RQ25KU. So can you talk a little bit about this projector?
Yeah, this is pretty exciting, and this will be coming out sometime in the fall, September-ish timeframe. Basically, what we have here is a 20,000 lumen 3-chip DLP projector that is going to be significantly smaller and lighter. And actually, we're saying that it's the world's smallest and lightest 20,000 lumen projector. And that's based on our own internal research. But basically, versus the predecessor model, which is the RQ22, it's going to be much, much smaller and lighter. So this is really big, as you can see, 40% less in size and 35% lighter weight. So, it's 4K, it's got our quad pixel drive, and we're real we're real excited about this new model. And you know, and for the rental and staging market, it's got some really improved workflow kind of technology, including near field communication, a remote preview, so you can see without having to turn it on in the dark. You'd be able to see using your computer to what you're going to be projecting. It's now got pre-activated software, Geo Manager, and auto screen calibration, which is actually built in. The RQ25 has a very, very solid value proposition in addition to just great projection.
This is a 3840 by 2400. Most people are not used to that. They're used to either cinematic 4K, which is 4096 by 2160, or 4K UHD, which is like your flat panel TV, which is 3840 by 2160.
Well, it's 1920 by 1200 native resolution, so it brings it to 3840 by 2400 using two-axis pixel shifting or quadrupling. So this is basically the resolution, unlike let's say another model that may be 3840 by 2160 and a 16 by 9 aspect ratio. So it depends, but yeah, this is probably more to the business side than theater.
So how many interchangeable lenses are actually available for this particular projector, by the way?
Oh, I think it's about 8 different lenses right now. We have some ultra short throw lenses, and of course, we have a wide range of gap-free between throw ratios lenses. So we have quite a few for the 3-chip projectors, and these lenses that we have currently will support these new projectors as well. So they're for new as well as the old models.
Can you talk a little bit more about this GeoPro software? I think this is kind of interesting.
Well, the GeoPro software covers a lot of territory. There's a lot of different things that it covers, such as edge blending, color matching. There are different things, masking, whether you're doing projection onto a curved surface or odd-shaped surfaces and so on. There's also auto screen calibration technology that's also made available. So using a camera and being able to calibrate blended projection, those things are available to the user, like I mentioned earlier with the RQ25, and they're pre-activated. So that's a real value, because in the past, those were sold separately. Now it's included and it's part of the projector.
And then you also talked about NFC. We talked about that last time, but it's really cool. Can you kind of explain what the benefit of that is?
Yeah, well, near field communication is really a technology that makes it possible to, let's just say you have a box, you know, on the ground, and you're programming it and you've got it all programmed. You can actually use your smartphone to edit different settings using your phone, and then you can also go to another projector and copy to that projector. So you don't have to manually change settings from one projector to another. And if you're doing 5, 10, 20, 30 projectors, it's a big time saver. So this technology is great, particularly when you're talking about rental and staging applications, where you really want to move pretty quickly from one projector to another. Saves a lot of time and manpower and money.
And of course, you also have tons of different types of software programs that you could utilize to monitor and control these things.
Yeah, multi-monitoring and control software, we call MMCS, is really great software. It's free, and it really is handy. It can manage over 2,000 different projectors with this software, which is really good. You can see if you have any problems in advance. You can change scheduling on, off, and so on and so forth. So it really is great software that we make available. A lot of people use it, and it's just does what it's supposed to do.
We could talk forever about the big pro pieces. And like I said, to learn more about that, we've reviewed several of the big guys with a lot of these features. Another projector that we want to talk a little bit about the FRQ60.
The FRQ60 is a brand new projector that's going to be coming out in July, and it's basically a 6,000 lumen one-chip DLP projector. This will deliver 3840 by 2160 4K resolution using our quad pixel drive. It's got, as you can see from the picture, a couple of things that are very noticeable. Of course, it's got center lens design. It's got a 2x zoom fixed lens, and it's got a wide range of vertical horizontal lens shift. This is a great machine that has become over the years like the standard in a lot of different applications and with a lot of different markets. One of the things that really is very important here, particularly with the 4K and people that will be using for video projection, is it's got 240 hertz video reproduction or refresh, smooth video, minimal 8-millisecond latency. It's great. It's, you know, in terms of either watching video or even playing video games. It's definitely a great machine. Like I said, it's got the 2x zoom lens, so you could project between 10 and 20 feet for 100 inches. And it's got that free grid adjustment feature that I really want to talk about, and it really is quite cool. Free grid adjustment means that if you're projecting, let's say, onto a curved surface or an odd shaped surface or whatever, and there's some distortion of the image, you can actually use your remote control and actually change the image so that you make that correction by using a remote control. It really is quite cool, and another thing that Panasonic offers that just separates us from the rest.
All right, so I love this projector. It's available in white and black as well. So, what I've also liked about it, Scott, is when I first got one of these Panasonics, the little joystick at the front I was like, what is that? Because from the first pictures, you don't really know what that is. And then when I got it, and I was like, oh, that's how you adjust the vertical and horizontal lens shift. It's brilliant. The rest of them, those little knobs they work, but they're difficult to really align. And this one, it's almost like you just move the screen until you get it where you want, and it works amazingly well. We've reviewed a couple of Panasonics in this chassis. We were shocked at how good the picture was. Our biggest complaint was, can we get it as a consumer piece? Two things about Panasonic that I've noticed. The colors are great out the box. A lot of companies, they will give you 12 horrible looking modes and one that kind of looks good that gives you half the brightness. You know, the Panasonic stuff, even in their brightest modes, the color is still pretty good. And then there's always modes that if you really are concerned with absolute color accuracy, you're going to get it. The next thing, when they say it's 6,000 lumens, it's 6,000 lumens. A lot of companies say, well, 6,000, maybe one time before it blew up, it was 6,000 lumens. When Panasonic says it's 6,000 anti-lumens, every Panasonic projector we've ever reviewed has at least hit their number. A lot of times they exceed their number. So if you're looking for accurate color and actual brightness, usable brightness, Panasonic pieces are great for that. I'm looking forward to reviewing this product as well. Now, there's one more thing we want to talk about, and that is this little guy here, the VMZ71. This is great for classrooms and conference rooms and boardrooms. So can you talk a little bit about this guy?
Yeah, the PT-VMZ71, which by the way you see here in black, is also available in white, but it's a 7,000 lumen projector. It's LCD, using LCD technology. Fixed lens, 1.6 times zoom, that has a throw ratio of like a 1.1 to 1.8. But it's got a new feature that really is pretty exciting. It's got what we call digital zoom extender. And what that does is it actually increases your throw ratio. So if you need to, you can engage this through your settings and go from 12.5 feet throw max to 15.5 feet. Okay. And why is that important? Because if we're replacing a competitive product that had a longer throw ratio, you can engage this digital zoom extender feature and actually be able to extend out as far as most of the competitors of this particular model, their throw ratio would be. So there really is, I think, a very, very worthwhile feature should there be a replacement opportunity. of course, it's got some other really cool stuff. And, look, you're putting it in the classroom, noise is an issue. So this is a really low noise rating, 26 dB, very, very minimal noise. Basically the sound of a pencil writing on a piece of paper. Very, very quiet. It's also got wireless projection capability, and it's got something pretty cool. You can actually, through the menu screen, pull up a QR code, and with the QR code, you can use your smartphone, take a picture of the QR code, and also using a wireless module, use your smartphone for projection. I think that's pretty cool. Using the QR code and a combination of the QR code and the wireless module. So
if someone has something on their phone that they want to share in a meeting, they could basically bring up that QR code, pop their phone on, and then share it with the rest of the people that are in the meeting.
One other thing I would want to mention is that the VMZ71 is 7,000 lumens, but in the series, there's a series of projectors that fall under the umbrella of the VMZ71. We have the VMZ61, we have the 51, so 6,000, 5,000 lumen WXGA, and we also have WXGA models in 6,000 and 5,000 lumens. So there's a whole range of different projectors in the same footprint, very small portables with the LCD technology.
You guys have a massive amount of projectors. But what really makes Panasonic Connect is all of the other things that you need for an effective presentation. And that's where Rudy comes in, because I had the opportunity to review this little Panasonic Preset, and we loved it. It's really does make it easy for people to basically collaborate in an environment. So can you talk a little bit about what the Preset is, Rudy?
Sure, Phil, and you hit the nail on the head. Panasonic isn't just about our great projectors and great display products now. We've got products that actually help you bring content to those screens, and not only to bring it there, but to bring it easily. And Preset is obviously one of the ways to do that. I think we've all been in those meetings where we're struggling to get content up on the screen, or we got to move ourselves physically to be near a cable to plug in to actually display our content. Well, Preset is a completely wireless presentation system. It works with projectors, it works with displays. The gist of it is that you plug in that dongle into your display device or your source, that transmitter. You plug it in, you hit a button, and you're presenting. It's that simple. And in terms of being easy, as with other more complex wireless presentation systems, you're not worried about having to connect to a wireless network. It's all built in. It's very easy, very simple.
Now let's talk about that for a second, because that's an important part. There's two things about that when you talk about plugging into a wireless network. Number one, it's this complex. Everybody's got to be on the network to present. Okay. So what's the password for the building? Okay. The other thing is, a lot of these rooms, they can say, well, like a lot of projectors, I can cast to it. But what happens if you have 5 projectors and you accidentally cast that you're laying off everybody to the conference room next door? So the amount of security, or you cast your blueprints for your brand new product to the other room, the level of security of having this closed wireless system in this room not only makes it easier to connect to. You just plug your the computer you have into this guy, or your tablet, or into it using the USB-C, and it stays in your room. You don't have to worry about anybody else seeing it, because it's your little thing. No one's can tap in and see what your plans are. So simple and secure is important when it comes to this.
Right. And when you're dealing with wireless technology, there may be some, you're dealing with IT folks at institutions, whether it's higher education and corporate, and, wireless is almost a dirty word. A lot of folks don't want, or they're very hesitant to put additional devices on a wireless network. And that's why Preset can actually exist on its own network. It doesn't have to be integrated into the infrastructure that's there already. It can sit on its own, and therefore be secure and be separate from wireless technology that may be existing in the facility already.
Exactly. And the IT guy, having to call them and to have them walk all the way across the campus to fix your networking problems, they're not They don't like doing
Yeah.
that. And half the time you're sitting there for 25 minutes waiting for the IT guy to arrive so your meeting can get started, you know?
Exactly.
So this makes it a lot more bulletproof and reliable. So,
Right.
so the first thing was it's really simple to utilize, right? Here you have a receiver. Right?
Mhm.
Receivers connect to a display, right? And then you have different types of transmitters, correct?
Yep. Well, actually, we have a couple of different types of receivers too. I mean, obviously, there's the external receiver, which you can see there on the left there, that plugs into your display device via HDMI. Very simple. For devices, for example, that support Intel SDM specification, that's a slot-based technology that was developed by Intel. You could actually slide the receiver directly into the display device, whether it's a display or projector, and it's a much cleaner installation. You don't have that receiver box sitting out there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two ways to receive signals. And in terms of transmitters, as you said, there's multiple devices out there, different ways to connect. So we've got a couple of different types. We've got an HDMI version. If your laptop or your tablet supports HDMI, we connect that way. Or some of the newer devices on the market support USB-C, so we can connect to those devices via USB-C or via USB-C transmitter. We've also got apps that support. You can transmit wirelessly from directly from Android or Apple devices. You can download these applications free of charge from whether it's the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you can transmit directly from those devices as well without the use of the dongle if that's desired.
Yeah, you know what? The USB C one is actually a great one because it's almost like each room needs to have a USB-C, a couple USB-Cs, and a couple HDMIs. Because I can
Yeah,
tell you, my Razer laptop has an HDMI out, but a lot of those small a lot of tablets or a lot of computers these days, they give you a dongle that is USB-C to HDMI. So the person
right.
comes in with their laptop and they say, can you share your presentation? And you hand them the old school thing. Let me grab the HDMI cable that's coming hanging down from the ceiling and try to plug it in. The guy goes, I don't have one of those on my laptop. Being able to say,
Yeah,
okay, what connection works for your laptop? Is it a
right.
HDMI or is it a USB? Regardless, whether you're a Mac person, whether you're a Windows person, you should be good to go.
Yeah,
So
yep, and you can mix and match the types of transmitters that you have in a single room. They don't have to be limited to the same size and at the same type, and you can have up to 32
mhm.
transmitters paired to a single receiver. So you can really go to town with however many devices you want to connect. And you could also display multiple sources at the same time, up to four. You can, if you're in a situation where you're collaborating and folks want to share at the same time, you can do that. Whether it's one user's up to four, you can show two at a time on the screen, or even three. It helps promote collaboration in that sense, where you're not just limited to one person presenting at a time.
Also like the lock mode because say there's
Yep.
four people that are all connected and you're presenting and the other person's looking at TikTok videos and he accidentally hits his button and now there's a dancing teddy bear on the screen instead of what
Right.
you were trying to
There is a
show.
VIP mode where if you hold the button down as the presenter for a few seconds longer than normal, it actually locks everybody else out, so nobody else can hop on the screen and present. So I'm sure that comes in handy many a time. And you mentioned before, Phil, about people wanting to sit further away apart. These days under the current circumstances, actually PressIT allows you to do that. You're not limited to where the cable is in the room to present. Like I said before, you don't have to move around to be the presenter. Folks can stay they're however far apart they want to, and they could present from that area. And for in terms of social distancing, PressIT makes it easier to do that as well.
I think the product is amazing, Rudy. There's more to making a great experience than just a projector. And the nice thing about Panasonic is you could talk to Rudy, you could talk to Scott, you can tell them, like I said, what your goal is. And they have a wealth of solutions way beyond this. We just talked about projectors and the Preset, but they have flat panels and video distribution systems and storage solutions and everything else that you just tell them what you want to do and they can find the right combination. And I rather talk to one tech support and talk to one company to get it all figured out, then call this guy for the video distribution, and call this guy for the flat panel, and call this guy for the projector. You know, it's, wouldn't you rather just talk to one company and have them all figured out from end to end? And that's something that Panasonic can provide.
I think you said it all at the end. We're a one-stop shop kind of solution, and in many cases we provide more than one solution for a particular application, depending on budget and other factors that the end user may be concerned with. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of support from our engineering teams and others that are ready to support all our customers. And it's not just selling a box. We're much more than that.
So thank you, gentlemen, for coming. To learn more about Panasonic Connect and the wide range of solutions and options, check out Panasonic.com. There's tons and tons and tons of information. Lots of use cases, lots of studies. So if you really, one thing I liked about your website is it's very informative. So if you really want to learn about what you can do with all your devices and how they can be used, it's more than just a spec sheet and a projector. They really go into detail about what you can do with their particular products and services. And of course, check out our reviews and you'll see why we like their products as well. So thank you everybody for coming, and take care. And I will see you, Scott, and probably Rudy at Infocom. So take care.
Thanks.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Phil.